Arjuna stepped off the rover, her boots sinking into the red Martian dust. The long journey from the orbital station had been uneventful, but a sense of foreboding gripped her heart. EMX Mars Base, usually a beacon of light and activity, was eerily silent. The sprawling complex of biodomes and prefabricated buildings lay under the pale Martian sun, looking more like a ghost town than a bustling research facility. As she approached the main airlock, a chill ran down her spine. The door lay ajar, its usually pristine white surface marred by strange dark streaks. EMX Base, this is Dr. Arjuna Singh, reporting arrival. Do you copy? The silence was deafening, broken only by the whisper of the Martian wind. Fear gnawed at her, but her training took over. She had a job to do. She had to find out what happened to her colleagues. Taking a deep breath, Arjuna pushed the airlock door open and stepped inside. The air was stale and heavy, carrying the faint metallic tang of blood. Her heart pounded in her chest. The silence was a living presence, suffocating and filled with unspoken horrors. The interior of the base was a scene of chaos and death. Overturned equipment and scattered personal belongings painted a picture of a desperate struggle. The silence was broken only by the hiss of escaping air and the crunch of Arjuna's boots on the metal floor. Each step she took revealed another horror. In the main living quarters, she found Dr. Chen slumped over a half-eaten meal, his face frozen in a silent scream. The base doctor, Dr. Petrova, lay sprawled on the floor of the infirmary, her eyes wide and bloodshot. The normally sterile environment was tainted with the stench of decay. Arjuna's mind struggled to comprehend the carnage. What could have caused such devastation? Was it a system malfunction, a catastrophic accident, or something far more sinister? Every corner she turned, every body she found, deepened the mystery and heightened her fear. She checked the comms log, hoping for a distress signal, a message, anything that could shed light on the tragedy. The last entry was from Dr. Chen, his voice frantic and garbled, mentioning a sudden illness, rapid deterioration, then silence. The mystery deepened, twisting like a knife in Arjuna's gut. As Arjuna moved through the base, a wave of dizziness washed over her. Her vision blurred, and the metallic scent in the air seemed to intensify, making her nauseous. She stumbled, her hand instinctively reaching for a wall to steady herself. Fear morphed into panic. Was she experiencing the same symptoms that had killed her colleagues? She fumbled for her medkit, her fingers clumsy and uncoordinated. The world spun, and she sank to her knees, gasping for breath. The air seemed thin, suffocating. Was this how it felt? To be slowly poisoned, your own body betraying you?
Dr. Singh, your vital signs are erratic. Please administer an antidote immediately.
Arjuna fumbled for the antidote injector, her hand shaking so badly she almost dropped it. With a silent prayer, she jammed it into her thigh and gritted her teeth as the medication surged through her system. The dizziness slowly receded, her vision clearing. She was still alive, for now, but she was running out of time. The antidote provided a temporary reprieve, but it's clear that I'm not in the clear. The air in the base is contaminated and my oxygen supply is dwindling. I need to get to a safe location, and fast. The mining facility, located a few kilometers away, has its own independent life support system. It's my only hope. Rollo, prepare the rover. We're leaving for the mining facility immediately.
Dr. Singh, the rover sustained damage during the incident. It's non-functional.
Rollo's voice was flat, devoid of emotion, but the news sent a chill down Arjuna's spine. She was trapped. Desperation clawed at her. She couldn't stay here. The air was toxic, and every breath brought her closer to death. She had to reach the mining facility. But how? The weight of her situation pressed down on her, threatening to crush her.
Dr. Singh, I have analyzed the situation. I can carry you to the mining facility. My internal power source can sustain us for the journey.
Arjuna stared at the synthetic, her mind struggling to grasp the idea. Rollo, a machine offering to carry her to safety? It seemed absurd, impossible. But what choice did she have? She was out of options, her back against the wall.
Do it, Rollo,
she whispered, her voice hoarse. She clung to the synthetic's sturdy frame, her heart pounding in her chest. Rollo's movements were surprisingly gentle as he lifted her and stepped out of the base into the harsh Martian landscape. Arjuna clung to Rollo, placing her trust in the machine. The fate of the mission, her life, rested on this unlikely savior. The journey to the mining facility was a blur. Arjuna, weak and disoriented, clung to Rollo as he navigated the treacherous terrain with surprising agility. The Martian wind howled around them, a constant reminder of the hostile environment they were in. Finally, the mining facility loomed ahead, a beacon of hope in the desolate landscape. As they approached the airlock, Arjuna felt a surge of relief. She was going to make it. They were going to make it.
Inside the facility, I was able to access fresh oxygen and medical supplies.
She collapsed on a cot, her body finally giving in to exhaustion. Rollo, ever vigilant, monitored her vital signs, a silent guardian in the sterile environment. As Arjuna drifted in and out of consciousness, she knew she had survived this ordeal, but the mystery of what happened at EMX base remained. Who or what was responsible for the carnage? She had no answers, only more questions.
Their only option was to reach the orbital station. From there, they could alert Earth and hope for a rescue mission. But for now, we were alive, and that was all that mattered. We had escaped the horrors of EMX base, but the Red Planet held its secrets close.